66 residences, and it's exclusive to residences. In other words, there's no rental product, retail product, it is all exclusive homes. And also of that, we're currently built out 155 units, so we're just over 60% constructed of the total plan. Now the top of the island, which is the top point, is actually a 6 acres of parks all along the top of the island.
Right here.
Yeah, so 1 and 2. The highest point of the island being 340 feet above sea level, which is here. That is the most stunning view. You certainly want to take the time to go up there. 360-degree unobstructed view of all, frankly, all the bridges in all parts of the bay. Sorry. In addition to that, as you move over to the left, you have our first piece of outdoor art. That is actually done by Hiroshi Sugimoto. He's a famous artist. This is one of many that will total $50 million investment along the 2 islands in outdoor art. This first piece is called The Point of Infinity. The Point of Infinity goes almost to just above an inch at the top of the spire, and actually acts as a sundial on the 2 equinoxes, but it is the calculus equation for infinity.
Wow, that's cool.
That is also a public park. So one of the things you may notice is the best, highest, most views are actually given equity to everyone.
Right here.
That's right, both parks with the best views. The only other people that get the next best view is the dog park, which is right here. That is Rock's Dog Park.
Right here.
That is actually, it wasn't originally intended to be full of rocks, but they get amazing views. It has great kind of nice breezes that come through for the dogs, and it's done with the rocks that were excavated during construction. So we're doing a lot of repurposing. One of the things about Wilson Meany and one of their drives is to bring back the natural horticulture to the land, and a lot of emphasis has been brought in on that. So because it's a naturally formed island, we're taking some of the invasive species such as eucalyptus and doing things like park benches at the parks and repurposing them as we bring back some of the more native species of plants and trees.
Wow.
So of the total, as I started to say, we have constructed to right about here.
Right here.
And that is 3 product types to that point, which is just about 60% constructed. Starting first with the first condo part. This is the Bristol.
The Bristol, we're here in this building right here.
And today we're standing right here, so we'll give you a concept of where we are. It's 124 condos at Bristol, and they range from studios to 1 bedrooms, 1 bedrooms with den, 2 bedrooms, and 3 bedrooms as well, so a nice range. And generally you would say that the Bristols are larger in square footage. The layouts are more open. We do taller ceilings and bigger glass.
So that's the Bristol.
Than what you would typically find in the city. We are in San Francisco zip code, so everybody, including DoorDash and Instacart, comes here just like everyone else because it is a San Francisco neighborhood. The second product type is right here, which is the townhomes.
The townhomes right there.
This is a bit of an homage to the row homes of San Francisco. They actually are built as a single-family home, so they do not have touching or demising walls.
Okay.
The exterior is done to make it feel like a row home and kind of congruent. But those can be anywhere from 3 to 4 stories, a 4th story being a rooftop private deck with amazing views.
Wow.
They start at 2 bedrooms and can go up to 4 bedrooms for the largest format. But on average, you're about 22 to 2,500 square feet on average, largest being a little over 3,500.
Beautiful.
Those are going to be live like a home. You have a single car garage, drive in. It lives like a house.
Tandem garage.
Single car.
Single.
Yeah, and then you have this product here, which is the flats.
Those are the flats.
That's what we're about to release. There's only 7 units per building. So this is 2 buildings constructed and almost complete. You drive in, have your condo type parking where you come in underground. However, you have a private elevator, you sit in the elevator, you hit your unit, and it only opens up to your unit. So you have elevator access to your single floor living. So in other words, a little more New York style where you pop right from your elevator into the home. So not any wasted space of hallways, a lot of outdoor space. Those are going to be about 2,300 or so square feet to 4,200 square feet. Single floor, flat living.
Wow. So we're currently right here.
That's correct.
And then in terms of production, and 60% built, and then we're going to be touring roughly around 3 to 5 units that they currently have, possibly including the flats also as well.
And then next up in terms of construction, but I'll back it up for a minute because on the island, one of the really important parts that we think about is it's kind of an outdoor living. One of the things that people have opted to be here is they want to be close to the city but not in it.
Yeah.
So security and safety is the number one reason people purchase, and the second is the access to outdoor space and outdoor living. So on this island currently, you have over 5 miles of hiking, biking, and walking trails.
Beautiful.
Just on this island alone.
Wow.
And we do happen to have one neighbor, but it's a great neighbor to have, which is the Coast Guard.
Yes.
So
yes, the
we
Coast
like
Guard.
having them here.
They got the basketball court and
Yeah,
everything.
everything. The freeway as it comes through. Next up in terms of construction is actually what we're going to call Sea View homes. We're going to turn the corner and head to City View.
So this is that's the water view, and this is called the City View Collection.
View. And you get great views also. You can imagine city, plus depending on where you are, Golden Gate, which we see Golden Gate from some.
Are these also the detached slash units that you're considering talking about, like townhome style?
Different residence type, but done in a similar format. So this one, you come on this road and drive into your garage. So from that point of view, all you see is a garage and maybe a little house. You drive in. Most of them will have a bedroom, a bath, something in that, but you're going to walk through that interior courtyard.
Are these are? I think last time I drove up here, I saw some that are developed, or where was right up here probably.
That's correct.
So these are probably forecasted maybe like in the next 2 to 3 years, possibly.
Next year.
Yeah.
We've already started moving dirt.
Okay.
So it does depend on how we.
All sections, phases, they all have similar HOAs versus the flat versus the townhouses, right?
Pretty close. It's a little, without getting too far in the weeds, there's one master HOA that covers all of the island because we have roving security, public parks. Plus, we're going to talk next about the Island Club, which is the private club for only these 266 units and their guests, which is a $12 million build out. But also, each residence type may have a smaller second HOA depending on if you're a condo, a townhome, a flat, depending on the services that are included.
Beautiful. And these are not developed yet, but these are considered as the flats.
It's going to be a combination. That's still, to be honest, not sure.
We haven't submitted the proposal yet.
Number of buildings. It's just if.
Mix and match.
Yes.
Got it.
What she's on right now is those 3 custom home building lots.
Wow.
There's a total of opportunity for 5 to be built, the 3 being there.
Yeah.
You can think of them as like a founder's lot. So they're single family home lots that are about 7,900 square feet. Adalyn Darling, which is a beautiful famous architect, which we'll talk again in a second because they're doing the Island Club, has done some preliminary designs because those are going to be, $20 million or so plus.
These are what you're saying,
That's
the Island Club right there.
And I'll show you. The Island Club is going to be one of the coolest reasons to really be out here.
So that project right there is over $12 million development, whereas exclusively for the people here only, which is fantastic.
Yeah, so on the TV you'll see this is brought to us through Adalyn Darling. Adalyn is a really gorgeous design, minimalist, goes into the space. I mean, here's another view of how you enter. You can see the bridge on the other side. You have a 25 yard warmed lap pool looking into the city. You'll have a spa. I'll get you some interiors here in a second. Look at the nighttime views. It's really stunning.
Beautiful. That's going to be finished probably 2026 or 2027.
A little bit probably, depending on how we do, probably 27, but it's an estimate.
Yeah, draft.
Yeah, so you see there's an outdoor terrace kind of looking into the city with fire and your water. You have a little library lounge.
Beautiful.
We'll even have another look at the lounge. We have private dining. that has gorgeous views, even a private yoga room.
Yeah.
Plus a full like spa experience, including steam rooms and
Wow.
massage rooms. But this will be exclusive to these 266 homes.
Wow. Is that, I know it's going to be exclusively to the residents here. Would, if they're not residents, would there be a charge or anything like that to the public? Would there be a charge for even with the residents, or just exclusive for them?
No, it's if you order a service like a massage, you pay for the masseuse, but the room and the space and the.
That's
the
very
only
cool.
other exception would be if you're trying to host a private event, which
Yeah.
as a homeowner you can. There
Definitely.
would be charges for cleaning and that sort of thing, but
That's
the only way
reasonable.
you have access to it.
Very cool. Very cool.
A couple things in the works and still on the this little section here. This is called the Great Whites. These are actually historical mansions. They're old admirals' quarters. In fact, the Nimitz mansion is there. It's the larger of the homes.
Yes.
That is historical, so we'll need to bring them back to its grandeur. But also we're thinking of it as an amenity to the total island. So we're talking to restaurateurs, wine bar, library type things, but that'll be a little bit further along and kind of just situated perfectly from this side of the residences.
That's really cool.
One of the other amenities that is on the island, which is a little less hard to see from where we're standing.
Yeah.
This is actually a hidden gem in the city. This is a almost 1 mile long sandy beach. So sandy, and as you come on from Yerba Buena Island right here, we've taken this old historical Art Deco building that was under the freeway, moved it over here. It's gonna be like a cafe, paddleboard rental, kayak, that sort of thing. But there's a little bit of parking here too. But what's great is not only is it sandy and open, this is nice, a bay within the bay, if you can imagine. So it's warmer, you're not getting access to waves. So it's actually a really, really lovely little space for people to use. Plus we provide a shuttle so people will come down and hang out and enjoy.
No, that's fantastic.
There'll be swimming lanes and a marina.
I know the Treasure Island, they're planning, maybe 2032 type of like
Full
forecasts and all that stuff. What are you thinking about this full build out?
We're probably 7 years at total, and that's
Similar.
including seven. I would say that would be including the residences. So less than probably 5 if you take out the residences, which will be private.
That's awesome.
So kind of depending on which way you look at it.
Yeah. And these are the residents. That's awesome.
Yeah, so there'll be total 3 custom home sites here. This will be kind of the final phase of the total project.
Wow.
What's really interesting is you can imagine the first 4 years or so of construction didn't look like construction because you're doing infrastructure. Back
That's
in the
the
day, you
hardest.
come out, there's power lines all over. So now
Yeah.
we've brought in water, underground power. So the infrastructure was just shy of $2 billion.
Wow. Yeah.
And
Which
just
makes
to
sense.
be able to get here.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta drill within the granite, make sure that
It's not a little thing.
get the approval from the city.
And you can imagine we're an island and
Yeah.
we're within a bay. So something that the landscape architect thought a lot about is, 70% of our natural animals and such are in the water. So we should probably be really thoughtful about what happens on the island because that goes directly into the water.
Yeah.
So there are actually, for example, 2 stormwater gardens. This is a whole garden area that anytime it rains, it actually filters through natural habitat before it can make it to the island.
Yeah.
So anything that's happening here is actually filtered out before it can hit the natural bay waters and therefore the species in the water. So quite a bit has been thought about in terms of like what does that experience as you're being on an island within a bay.
That's awesome. I love it. And yeah, I mean, right now the temperature is around 86 degrees, beautiful, right, sunny day, and you're just experiencing a nice overall weather just throughout.
Yeah, we're
and a
really
beautiful
lucky
view.
on the island, right? We get a lot of really great sun. People who come from north of town think of foggy mornings being San Francisco, but here we're really experiencing lovely. Here's Angel Island out my window, and I can see the fog kind of go from the Golden Gate, which is right here. You can see as well, and just go kind of through and past us, and we're like, oh hi. We have a beautiful warm.
So the townhouses or the townhomes, the ranges between 2.5 to 3 to 4.
Yeah, not including the larger format that we haven't released yet.
And then the cheapest one, which is the most affordable one, is the smaller lot. I think I saw on the website it's around like 700 square feet. It's like a 1 bedroom, 1 bath. Is that the condo one?
In the condo.
That was the
correct,
condo.
Yeah.
And then so these ones are super nice because it has the upstairs patio and upstairs deck.
Yeah, a little rooftop private patio. We'll take a look at one that has that.
Yeah.
So you can see how that 4th story really gives you some flexibility about how you entertain as well.
Beautiful. Okay, I think that's a lot of good information. And then on the website, the HOA ranges between 1,200 all the way to say 1,700, depending on which lot, how much. You're getting a condo, or you're getting a townhouse, how much square footage, where you're at in the development, all that good stuff, and it does cover a lot. Does it cover water, garbage, and sewer, or it's just mostly
Depends on the product type, and
Yeah.
that's something that we'll unravel a bit once you get into the product.
Yeah.
Because I think it matters, as you see, obviously the condo building, you have your garbage, your trash chutes, and we'll take a look at that. That's
Yeah.
included, but your PG&E, let's say your gas is included, but your electricity and your water is metered on a condo product.
Yeah.
Whereas your townhomes, you have a private garage.
Yeah.
And garbage service is not included. So there's a little bit of variation depending on the product type.
Yeah. So you're owning. You don't specifically own that piece of dirt, but you own a
correct.
lease to that dirt. But through an HOA format structure. So that's really nice.
There's a few ways to dice up like condo, single family, right? But it's a master plan.
Yeah.
It's also commonly referred to as a PUD.
Yeah.
Or planned urban development, but also with some condo product on it.
That right there with the 3 green, that is the water storage
That's
system.
the storage, yeah. That's 500 million cubic feet of water storage.
Emergency storage for all the residents here.
That's correct.
And that's being pumped from
The hedgie.
Okay. And then the waste system, is that more so for like in this particular island also as well, or is it pushed through to the city?
I don't know.
That's okay.
That's a good question. Because I think we're still working through the Treasure Island portion of that, so I don't know the answer. I'd have to get that for you.
Yeah, no, those are most likely they'll probably, because I believe there's over 8,000 developments going to be down in the Treasure Island.
7,700 units over there. Which is,
a huge amount.
yeah,
That's
it'll be 8,000
years.
total between the two.
Crazy. Whew. But most likely they're going to consolidate all the waste management in one centralized area where it'll just process the wastewater. So it'll be pushed back naturally and organically to, the disposed area.
This is, it's not exact answer. I never want to give you a wrong answer, but on the screen, that is Treasure Island.
Yeah.
And that's what it was before construction. And once I pause here in a second, post-construction, you can see a facility here.
Yeah, so that's Treasure
I
Island.
don't want to give you the wrong answer, but
That's okay.
this is clearly a facility.
Yeah, there's, of course, when there's commercials, other developments, they're gonna create more infrastructure for this big project also as well.
Yeah, you can see most of the Treasure Island is open air space. In fact, between the 2 islands at completion will be over 300 acres of open air space dedicated back to the city.
Yeah.
So that's the largest contribution to the park system since the Golden Gate.
With I drove down there last time I met Jason and just to explore around. I did notice that there was a lot of older apartments and buildings.
Correct. Yeah.
Would that be restored or would that be remodeled? How would that look like? So
that's what it was before, I think that's about roughly in the 50s. You're talking about these were all workers' housing for bridge development and then eventually Army as well. Most of that's coming down.
Yeah.
They were all, everyone who is on a lease is aware of that. It's part of the lease. Plus, of course, they do have first right of refusal because this is more like today-ish.
Right.
And this is what it will be. You can see that those will be green space. So
Yeah.
a lot of thought has been thought into one future, 100-year rain system, potential rise in water. So there's actually been planned, the island itself has been raised.
Yeah.
And also you see how we do the construction is really taking that into account.
Yeah.
But you may have heard on the news, the future women's soccer league
Yeah.
is doing a lease and a whole system here. So they are moving out to the island.
That's
And
awesome.
will be completed roughly 2027.
Wow, that's
This will be
fantastic.
the first kind of women's football club here.
It would be nice if I have a helicopter station right
Yeah,
there.
you just watch, you're like, hey. These are like sporting club
Yeah.
fields, and there's quite a bit going on. Something that you can see that is visible today that's coming
Yeah.
is here. So this is part of the park system that's actually under construction
Yeah.
and will be open this spring. So we're
Beautiful.
well into the construction of it.
Yeah.
And this is the ferry terminal. That's where the ferry comes from the ferry building in San Francisco to the island and back and forth. At completion, it will probably be close to every 10 minutes or so. Right now, it's about 14 times a day. So people are commuting into the city. The ferry takes roughly 7-8 minutes to get right down to the ferry building. So it's a really wonderful way to travel.
Would you guys also be developing also on the Treasure Island also as well in the future, or you think about just focusing on this particular
Yeah, good
unit?
question. So there's kind of a different thought there. So Wilson Meany is the primary developer of Yerba Buena. This is going to be the luxury, more exclusive offering of the total plan. And then as we move into here, this will be a much more urban experience, and it is Wilson Meany plus Lennar Urban doing 80% of the island. So a little bit more urban. In fact, there'll be one 40-story tower that'll be the top height of anything on the island. But now you're introducing kind of a new partner that'll do a slightly different mix, and I'll show you. Right.
This is probably 5 to 7 years, probably 5 million plus.
The policy